The Republican presidential candidates took on the issues, the Democrats, and each other on stage in Cleveland last night. The candidates talked about everything from the economy to Iraq to Planned Parenthood and God.
Frontrunner Donald Trump got plenty of attention in the spotlight, but all of the candidates got a chance to make their case. David Brody brings us the story from Cleveland.
Going in, it was considered one of the most anticipated presidential debates ever. The reason? Donald Trump. And it didn't take long for fireworks, as each candidate was asked if they would pledge not to run as an independent if they didn't win the GOP nomination. Only Trump, the frontrunner, refused to commit.
You can't say tonight that you can make that pledge.
I cannot say.
Then Trump's night got worse when Megyn Kelly brought up some of his past remarks about women.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
And how will you answer the charge from Hillary Clinton, who is likely to be the Democratic nominee, that you are part of the war on women?
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct.
While Trump took some lumps, candidates like Governor Chris Christie and Senator Rand Paul went after one another. One exchange centered on the federal government's role in collecting private American records.
I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from innocent Americans.
That's a completely ridiculous answer. I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from other people. How are you supposed to know, Megyn?
Use the Fourth Amendment.
How are you supposed
Use
to?
the Fourth
No, I'll
Amendment.
tell you how you
get a warrant.
Let me tell you something.
Get a judge to sign a warrant.
Senator.
Go ahead, wait, Governor Christie, make your point.
Listen, Senator, when you're sitting in a subcommittee just blowing hot air about this, you can say things like that.
Meanwhile, the candidates all tried to differentiate themselves. Brain surgeon Ben Carson explained his uniqueness among his peers.
The only one to take out half of a brain, although you would think if you go to Washington that someone had beat me to it. But
others, like top-tier candidate Jeb Bush, came to this debate with a lot to prove. While he stumbled recently, Bush answered forcefully on the sensitive subject of his brother's decision to go to war in Iraq.
It was a mistake. I wouldn't have gone in.
Candidates also got the opportunity to take on Democrat frontrunner Hillary Clinton.
If I'm our nominee, how is Hillary Clinton going to lecture me about living paycheck to paycheck? I was raised paycheck to paycheck.
The Russian and Chinese government know more about Hillary Clinton's email server than do the members of the United States Congress.
Social issues like abortion also came up, which played to Mike Huckabee's advantage.
The Supreme Court is not the supreme being, and we change the policy to be pro-life and protect children instead of rip up their body parts and sell them like they're parts to a Buick.
And God also made it into the list of questions when candidates were asked if they've received a word from him on what they should do and take care of first.
I am blessed to receive a word from God every day and receiving the scriptures and reading the scriptures, and God speaks through the Bible.
In the earlier debate between lower polling candidates, former Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina received positive reviews, and she had no problem taking a swipe at the frontrunner Trump.
Since he has changed his mind on amnesty, on health care, and on abortion, I would just ask, what are the principles by which he will govern?
The next time all of these candidates will be together on the same stage will be next month in California at the Reagan Library. It's all part of a very long and winding road that actually comes back here to Cleveland next summer. That's where they'll hold the GOP convention, and that's where they'll choose a nominee for their one-on-one matchup. David Brody, CBN News in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, lots of political theater in the future and some free campaign advice for Donald Trump. If it's 3 a.m., you don't want to be on your Twitter account, and you're not running against Megyn Kelly.